Today, we ask ourselves the age-old question. Enough of that. They might sue. But anyways, right off the bat, just from the box, you can tell that you're getting new accessories. And here's the front of the box, the back, the side, the other side, the top to my bottom. Now how's about we dive right into those beautiful insides? You know what comes next. Okay, and that's not too bad of a spread at all. And here is Slade Wilson, otherwise known as Deathstroke. And here you go, as promised, 1.0 and 1.5. And immediately you're gonna see some subtle differences. I don't know if the camera is picking it up, but a 1.0, which is on the right, definitely had some paint issues. And no, he is not a bootleg. You hear that? That's the sound of authenticity. It's actually the sound of the revoltech joints that they used to use, and bootlegs did not have that.
Yeah, what the heck?
There are other subtle differences, but before we get into more of that, let's take a look at the front. Here they are from the left, their actual left, because I'm dyslexic. Here they are from the back, and no, your eyes are not deceiving you, at least I hope not. The 1.0 is actually a little lighter in shade, pretty much all around. And here is some more minor paint issues with 1.0. As you can see right here, there's a little more paint bleed, compared to 2.5 where it's, there's still very little, but nothing crazy. Alright, and Poseability is gonna be about the same. They can both hit a T-pose, with one caveat. I don't know why I said that word, I hate that word. And that's gonna be his legs. Now, as I showed you before, the 1.0 has the revoltech joints, and they make him a little harder to stand, and not to mention, give him a little bit of a bow-legged look, which is just another improvement that we got with 1.5. Which brings me to a question for you guys today. On my last video, with Deadpool 2.0 and 2.5, someone had said to me that these 0.5 releases, 1.5, 2.5 respectively, are not meant to be upgrades? Now, I don't know about you, but in literally anything, when you go from 2.0 or X.0, whatever the hell, to X.5, 2.5, it implies an upgrade. Am I going crazy? Yes. Furthermore, I will say right here, 1.5 is definitely an upgrade, and we're only 2 hours into this, which is probably only the 2-minute mark. Anyways, back to Poseability. You're getting the T-pose, a good stretch with your hands touching above your head. You could do whatever the hell this is. Only a true member of the League of Assassins can reach this form. His arms can easily cross in the front, all made possible with these double ball joints, as well as this armpit flap. They can look all the way up. Looking down is going to be hindered just a little bit because of the scarf. But if you move his scarf like so, then you can get all the way down. Speaking of which, the scarf is on a ball joint, so it can go all willy-nilly crazy. And the back ties of the mask are on a peg, so you still get some movement back and forth like this. It's not going to move like this. Don't do that in my break. But again, I don't know if I mentioned it before actually, but if I did, this has this bend. This is the 1.5, whereas the 1.0 did not, and there is a little bit more paint issues right there. I promise I'm not fake. And if I haven't mentioned it yet, the shoulder pads are also on a joint, as you can see right here. And I definitely like this much better than the way that they did the new Batman from Arkham City, because from what I remember, it was done with pretty much glue or something. I don't know. We'll look into it when we do comparisons. Until then, we must suffer. The arms can flex almost all the way with just a single ball joint. And I was having a little bit of trouble with the 1.0. I don't know if it's just because of age, because the joints look pretty much the same. I could also just be stupid. Stop the review. We have breaking news. Right now, we are showing you live video feed, just as the story unfolds. Tell us what happened, Mr. Wilson.
Well, I was just bending my leg like so, and then it broke.
Yes, that's right. His right leg just snapped right off. Editor, insert the pictures here. Now, as of right now, the patient is in stable condition. However, I'm not sure that he will be able to pose ever again. You gotta put me back in there, coach. I beg you.
All right, kid, but don't think I'm gonna go any easy on you. No, get back out there. Show him just how poseable you are.
Thanks, coach. I won't let you down. In a serious note, that was very scary. I was able to fix it with crazy glue, but I am a little worried that it's not going to be a permanent fix. If you've watched my videos before, I like to go pretty crazy with my figures, which is what really upsets me, because if it broke while I threw it or just did something stupid, I'd be like, okay, it was my fault. Yeah, I'm stupid. I'm retarded. Don't say retarded. But I literally just lifted his leg to a 90-degree angle. Very softly, I might add. Now, I have contacted Amiami, which is where I got this figure from, but they wanted a picture of the figure with the physical paper invoice and the box, and I'll be honest with you, I threw those out. I sent them a picture of the figure with the invoice loaded on an iPad, and I hope that that's enough. Let's hope that Amiami shows a mercy on my poor soul and wallet. Till then, I will cry. They can both do the splits, albeit the 1.5 slightly better. although his leg technically did break. But I'm willing to count that as a one-off. You can split them both open. Oh. He's got a decent back arch. They've both got an insane ab crunch slash sit-up. And in case you were wondering, that is 1.5 on the left. His gun pouches are on ball joints. And on his completely unbroken right leg, he has a holster that is sculpted on. And if you come over here to the left leg, you will see a sculpted on sheath for his knife. And one thing I really liked about these older style revoltechs is the knee pads. They made them on a joint, which as you can see on the older 1.0, whom I still have in the sit-up position, you're able to move it so that it can cover up the joint. And while I know that newer revoltechs do not really have that ball joint on the knee, a lot of them for some reason still have a type of knee pad that is static, so you get something a little more like this. And I don't know, but it's always bothered me when they decided to switch to these static things that do not move, when I feel like this was, I don't know, I think it was good. But anyways, moving on, you get a swivel on the leg right here, which is the one that broke. I shouldn't be using this one. The single ball joint at the knee, which I showed you before, and it sounds a little tight. A ball joint at the tippies, which allows for an absolutely insane ankle pivot. And you've even got a little bit of movement here at this boot cut. And now it's time for accessories. All right, yes, and if you are unfamiliar with this character, this silver fox is indeed an old ass man. And before you ask, no, I'm sorry, I did not get the extra face.
I am sorry, my mentor. I have failed you.
But we still got this unmasked face, and I must say, the 1.5 head sculpt definitely has a much better paint apps than the original 1.0. And if you were wondering if that's just the lighting, no, the 1.0 seems to have a less refined detailing finish, albeit not terrible at all. But it seems like they've gotten much better at the fine details that it takes to make an unmasked face. Good job, Revoltech. Wow! Okay, and as for hands, he's got his fisting hands. Every good assassin needs pinching hands. Hands. Could that really be all the hands he comes with? Why, yes, and I'm completely okay with that. Because honestly, they're really all he needs to do everything that he needs to do, which is not have a broken leg. It's to hold these. And here he is with his 1.0 counterpart. And once again, even with a broken leg, he manages to stand much more easily than his 1.0 counterpart. And like I said before, it really has to do with the older Revel joints. The newer joints are much more stable, whereas his knees, once they click in, it still has a little bit of a wiggle room. God, I can't believe I never noticed 1.0's horrible paint apps. But these aren't the swords you wanted to see. I did that very gingerly. You wanted these bad boys. You want to see them flaming. And my God, I will tell you, it wasn't that easy of a pose to get simply because the swords were just too heavy and kept moving the wrist. But at the end of the day, it's not the hugest issue. It's not a broken leg. Put some nail polish on it or any other loose peg or joint and you are good to go. But that's not all he has. He also gets this really cool sheath for the new swords, which by the way, I don't remember where they're from. Did he get them from Trigun? All I know about Deathstroke is from what I saw on Teen Titans. So please tell me in the comments below. Now, the sheath looks really cool, but I do wish that you can store both of the swords into it. As you can see, you're definitely fitting only one sword into it. It's too tight. Which is okay because you're probably going to display him using them anyways, is what I would say, except that he has a bunch of insane accessories. Just be mindful of these because they tend to fall out of the holsters, especially the knife which falls out of its little sheath as well as the hand. And you even get this bow staff. Maybe something a little taller than he actually is would have been nice. He's even got these grenades, which if you remember these hands, they have a little peg hole for which you can peg. I try to make it look like he's pulling the pin with his teeth, but it kind of just looks like he's smelling it. Personally, I like displaying the figure with as many accessories on it as you can. And as you can see here, I have the bow staff on his belt, and it is attached by this piece. This one is from the 1.0. Don't ask me why part of it is blue. That's what they did with the 1.0. I promise you my 1.0 Deathstroke is not fake. And as for how I got his rifle onto him, this is 1.0's rifle, and as you can see, it has a circular hole right there. And Revoltech provides this piece as well, which you insert like so, and you get something like this, and you take this whole contraption, flip it around, and look at that, you see that? There's a lot of room in that hole.
That's what she said.
So you got one in the front, and then you take this one, and then you put it in. Again, not at all mandatory. In fact, I don't even know if it was meant to do that. But she does it, baby. But that's all you're gonna get. You can't put this on. Maybe you can substitute something else. But I'm sticking to this because I want to get to comparisons. And you've seen them both throughout the whole video. And regardless of whether it's supposed to be or not, 1.5 is definitely an upgrade. And that's with the broken leg. And what really did it for me was honestly the paint. Yes, the knee joints are a little better on the 1.5, but you get used to the 1.0 ones again. I was able to do away with the bow legging, as you can see here. But with the much cleaner paint apps, along with the shinier paint, along with the faith that I have in amiami that they're going to do the right thing and give me an extra leg, 1.5 is just delicious. And here he is with the Cape Crusader himself, Batman. And if you look at Batman here real quick, you can see that I rolled his eyeballs all the way back into his skull. And as I said before, his shoulder pads are completely static. From what I've seen in other reviews, they are adhered on with adhesive. But side note, if you did not like the Revoltech Arkham City Batman, you have other options. And that is to leave. No, I'm kidding, don't go. A third-party company by the name of lpzz is also releasing a 112 Batman from the Arkham games. Editor, go ahead and insert that picture right here. And if you were wondering where you can get it, the link is in the description below. Back to the video. And here is 2.5 Deadpool, and yes, that is right. He is in fact a little shorter, which, editor, you will have to look into that and see if that is in fact accurate. And here is SH Figure Arts Edward, and this one, do not get him. He is complete utter doo-doo. And if you already have him, well, throw him out. And you know I'm gonna have to put 112 Doom in there, otherwise how am I gonna use the hashtag? Anyways, thank you for making it this far into the video. Just for that, I'm gonna give you a special treat. I'm gonna show you what I'm working on next. The amazing Black Suit Neighbor. And if you're not familiar with this figure, it is made by a company by the name of MS Toys, or sometimes called CT Toys. Either way, they're a third-party company which makes Marvel and a bunch of other figures. And this one is supposed to be a black suit Spider-Man, but obviously they cannot say black suit Spider-Man, so it is Black Suit Neighbor. Now, you can still get this at AliExpress, however, be wary if you decide to get it, make sure that you get it from Funly Store, because that is the real store where you can get these real bootlegs. And if you decide to get it and the delivery date is crazy, don't be too worried because it told me that this was going to arrive in October, and it is very much not October. However, the box seems like it has seen better days, and this is exactly how it arrived, so find out next time on H339. Bye!